Good morning. Welcome to day 2. Well, I have had so many amazing conversations already just these last 2 days, and I hope all of you have as well. There's such an excitement, you all have so much passion, and I am inspired by all of you. It's awesome, really great to be here. And as a matter of fact, last night I was talking to my friend Neil from Software One, and he was sharing with me all the travel he's done this year. Over 240,000 miles, if you can believe it, all around the world. So it got me thinking about my own traveling, and I went up to my room and I looked on my calendar and my workplace analytics. I have had almost 1,000 conversations with partners since I saw you at Last Inspire. And I have learned so much about your businesses, about your opportunities, about your solutions. Those conversations are my lifeblood. They fuel me with energy, and they inform just about everything that we do. And I have had one of the most energetic years of my life at Microsoft. So I want to thank all of you for giving me that opportunity this past year. Thank you. And each of those conversations is as unique as every single person in this room. But there has been a common thread that has run through every single one. There is an excitement about the magnitude of the opportunity ahead of us, and there is a fear around the magnitude of the opportunity ahead of us. There's excitement at how fast customers are rushing to the cloud, and a fear that we're still not moving fast enough. There's excitement generated around GDPR and a fear around those security breaches that Brad talked about yesterday. There's excitement around data and AI and what we can do with it, and a fear around how do we protect our customers because of what they might do with it. As we stand on the threshold of this new frontier, we are confronted by both excitement and fear. The good news is that when excitement and fear battle it out historically, excitement does win. It reminds me of a similar time in history that happened right here in the West about 170 years ago. It was America's gold rush. People rushed to the West to strike it rich. And it led to one of the biggest migrations in US history, for those of you from international who don't quite know that. It's how the West was won. The cloud is our modern-day gold rush, and data is the currency of the cloud. And I can imagine how back in the 1850s, the conversations were all about the excitement of mining for gold. Just like today, those conversations are all about mining for data. But the interesting thing is this, that even though $2 billion of gold were mined during the gold rush, it isn't where the real fortunes came from. The real fortunes were built from the communities, from the commerce, and from the industries that were born out of the population boom. Just like in today's modern-day cloud rush, the real fortunes will not be made from being in the cloud. Fortunes will be made from the infrastructure and the capabilities that you're all building around the cloud and the data that you pull through the cloud. And both then and now, the success, the foundation of all of that success is partnerships. Partnerships between people. people like Jacob Davis. Jacob Davis was an immigrant tailor who lived during the 1800s in a little town called Reno, Nevada, which is about 450 miles from here. And his customers were all the miners and the laborers who were always coming into his shop with ripped work pants. So one day, Jacob had an idea, and he started to sew little round pieces of metal into the pants to reinforce the seams. And he was soon overwhelmed with business. So he reached out for a partner. And the partner he reached out for was his fabric supplier, because he knew this guy knew how to manufacture, knew how to trade, and knew how to scale a business. The guy he reached out to was Levi Strauss. And together, they built a product that has stood the test of time. Now, I have such an affinity for this story, not just because I usually love to wear jeans, but because the partnership and the solution they built reminds me a lot of what the One Commercial Partner team is here to do, to help you build solutions that will stand the test of time. And each one of those solutions starts with an idea and a conversation. And I've had many of those conversations this past year, as has the entire Commercial Partner team. And I thought I would share a few of those more transformational and memorable ones that really stood out in my mind. So a few months ago, several months ago actually, I was in a little conference room in Redmond with my friend Peter from iCertis. iCertis built a contract management application. And Peter was standing at the whiteboard, and he was sharing with me how they take contracts from all over the organization, they pull them together, they put a business process workflow over it, and then they unlock the contract obligations within to help the customer manage those contracts. And I was listening to him, and I was like, Peter, that data is like gold. What do you do with it? And we started a conversation about how if they infused AI over that data estate, they could really help a customer to rethink the ROI and how they manage their whole supply chain. And a few months later, through, I'm sure, tremendous hard work with iCertis and our US subsidiary team, they released the iCertis AI application for contract management. Now, that was a spark in a conversation. Sometimes our conversations are much more intentional. Like the day that I was sitting across the table from Piyush from InMobi, and we were having lunch, and it was at like this cafe with this big old farm table between us. We were talking about the potential of migrating their mobile marketing platform onto Azure, infusing AI into their analytics service, and what that could do for the targeting of those advertisements. They loved the idea. Piyush and the India sub took off, and within a couple months, we were co-selling with them. And we've already had 22 wins, one of which is a small customer that you might know called American Express. And now we're helping them move into 4 additional countries, and we already have 40 additional opportunities lined up behind that. And then there was the conversation, some of those that are much more transformational, like the one I had with Runa, probably about 3 years ago. Runa is the CEO of Crayon, which is an LSP out of Norway. And Runa looked at me and he was like, we are ready to transform our business. So let's talk about what should we invest in? And so we talked about the opportunity ahead with data, AI, and machine learning. And Runa took that idea, and he was like, he latched onto it with a vision, and he redid his whole organization. We had a strategic plan working between our teams. We built a business plan, and he repivoted his whole organization. Where is his slide? Where's his video? Crayons, video. There we go.
I think it was 3 years ago where Microsoft started challenging our existing business model. Then we started social type of engagement with Machine Learning Norway as the starting point. I think we add value in a very different state than we have been able to do before. We started out with 10 people 2.5 years back. We're 45 people now and growing. With the ambition to be 500 3 years from now. So Microsoft, with the One Commercial Partner Organization, has really grown from being a tactical relationship to a truly strategic relationship.
And their business looks nothing like it did 12 months ago. That is just 3 of thousands of conversations that the One Commercial Partner team has had with partners this year. You know, last year at Inspire, we introduced this new One Commercial Partner model. And we talked about how it's 3 conversations that are lined up against the 3 stages of your business. How do we help you identify and build your next billion-dollar business? How do we make sure that we have the right go-to-market resources, programs, resources, readiness, investments to help you go to market? And then how do we sell with you? How do we connect you to customers? Arguably, the most important thing. And I have to admit, last year, when I introduced that to you, I was a little nervous. It's a lot of change. Based on all the conversations I've had this year, up to and through now, this Inspire, and everything we talked about the last couple days, I believe that we have had our most successful year in partnership together this past fiscal year. And I want to thank all of you for making that happen. So what I thought I'd do is share with you some of the success we've had, what we've learned, and what's next. We've built over 28,000 solutions, services, and applications with you this past fiscal year. We have generated over 3 million leads out to partners and jointly developed over 100,000 co-sell opportunities. And get this, we have landed over $5 billion in partner sales. That's your sales, not Microsoft sales. $5 billion. And the best thing about that is that is with 87% of IP co-sell ready partners participating in that motion. Wow. Come on, you guys. $5 billion. That's not bad for a first-year start, okay? So let's talk about some of the things we've learned. We've learned a lot. I tell my team that we're a lot like Jacob the tailor, and our job is to sew the seams in the commercial partner model. And we have seams. There are tools that don't always work the way they're supposed to. There are programs that could use another 2 or 3 or even 4 more rounds of simplification. We're working on it. And we could scale this sales model better. And then most importantly, we need a better place to start. So let's talk about where we go next. What's next this year? So last year, I also talked to you about this concept of co-selling with Microsoft. Now, co-selling with Microsoft is different than selling with Microsoft, as we've done in the past, because selling with Microsoft was about partners selling Microsoft solutions. Co-selling with Microsoft is about Microsoft selling partner solutions and Microsoft solutions together. It goes both ways. And this year, we've turned the corner from partnering to partnership. And we started with a fairly basic motion so that we wouldn't overwhelm your business. We started 1 to 1 to 1. One Microsoft seller to one partner seller, one customer at a time. And as I said, $5 billion of your sales is a pretty good start. I thought I would share with you a little bit of how that feels, some of those stories. So I was thrilled when I was talking with Bill and Jennifer about their success in co-selling with us. Their company is Turbonomic, and Turbonomic enables a customer to optimize their cloud, data center, and hybrid environment. And they have a really cool solution because they can have an inside support representative talking to a customer, remotely deploy an assessment. Within a couple hours, they can do a complete assessment of that customer's compute, storage, networking, and memory, and deliver to that customer an optimization report. And what Turbonomic does is then they help that customer manage and optimize that environment. But here's the problem. The customer never believes them because the report tells the customer how underutilized every resource in their organization is. This is the partnership. The Microsoft seller can go into that customer and validate that assessment and talk to the customer about all of the other customers that Turbonomic has had success with. And this partnership has worked really well. Take it from Ben.
As of January of this last year, we were nowhere programmatically with Microsoft. What happened is we came across the Microsoft IP co-sale program in January, and from that starting point, we've now already closed 26 incremental deals. We have a pipeline of over 160 deals, $80 million in value, and it happened to inflect our growth phenomenally.
$80 million in pipeline in 6 months. It's not bad for a company that has about $150 million in annual revenue. And then there was a story when I sat down with Shane from Rubrik, and he was talking to me about their value prop. And I could immediately see how this was something a seller could latch on to. They're a data management company out of California, and they can help a customer within 4 clicks pull all of their data and archives into Azure. 4 clicks to the cloud. I could see how our sellers could sell this solution all day, every day, and they have. We've gone from 93 joint opportunities to 817 in less than 7 months. That's a 700% increase. When I hear stories like this, I know that we are onto something big, that we must be doing something right. So we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep getting better. We're going to keep rewarding our sellers for selling your solutions, and we're going to keep rewarding them at 10% of your contract value, and we're going to do 10% the whole year through. And we're going to add dynamics to that this year. And what I hear from partners is that, once you get onto this path, once you start co-selling with Microsoft, your momentum goes like a rocket ship, just like Rubrik and Turbonomic. But sometimes getting started can be a little hard. Figuring out how do you get started. So this year, we're going to lean on AppSource. AppSource as the front door to selling with Microsoft. So this past year, when your solution was ready, your partner development manager would help you put that into the OCP catalog. That was an internal catalog so our field sellers could see the application or the solution. Next year, we're going to put that finished solution, that service, right into AppSource. And we're going to hand the keys over to you so that you control the trial, the provisioning, the sales experience, And you can even create a private marketplace. A marketplace for a specific customer where you create an offer and pricing just for that customer. And we know that in order to move everything from the OCP catalog into AppSource, we actually need to expand AppSource beyond finished apps into enabling services and managed services and other kinds of services offerings. So we're going to do that too. And that enables us to immediately make your solution not just available to all of our field sellers, but to the 2 million monthly active users who come to AppSource looking for solutions, and for you to participate in the 100,000 leads a month that we send out of AppSource. And if your application or your solution is as easy to provision as Picket's, you can do it without any sellers at all. Take it from my friend Matthias.
Picket has been in the AppSource marketplace for a little bit more than a year right now. We don't really have a big sales organization, so we need the Microsoft AppSource marketplace to make sure that we can scale. Through the marketplace, we have over 30,000 companies using Picket in over 200 countries around the world. The Microsoft stores have been absolutely crucial for the Picket success because we reached so many people in one single point of contact.
36,000 customers, 209 countries, 30 people in the organization. That is a cost of sale I think we all aspire to. And the only other way I know to get even close to that cost of sale is through bots. How many of you are thinking of or being asked by your customers to build chatbots? Chatbots to do their services and their support and even sales. You should also then know about this other partner that we have, LiveTiles. I met LiveTiles, and they're available in the AppSource marketplace. I met LiveTiles about 2 years ago at the Australia Partner Conference. And I connected them with our AI team, and they worked with our AI team and our local Australia subsidiary, and they created, get this value prop, bot in a box. And the bot in a box is available to all of you to build on, to co-brand, and to white label. And that is exactly what our partner Valrata has done. And Valrata was kind enough to build me my very own Ask Gavriella bot. She's in training. I'm training her to answer all of my internal emails so that I can spend way more time in conversations with all of you. Just imagine all those emails you have to kind of refactor and find and just send. I could just have her do all of that and save me so much time. Okay, wait, I'm just daydreaming. Okay, so now I forgot what I was saying. Gavriella, what was I saying? Right, selling with Microsoft. Okay, so that is all very interesting and helpful, but where the real opportunity explodes, where we can really scale, is when we can take everything out of the AppSource catalog and connect it to every partner in our ecosystem through the Cloud Solution Provider program and make those catalogs match up and enable that universe of selling for you. That's the real opportunity. That is when we can go from 52,000 customers and a few thousand sellers to 17 million partner sellers and 75 million buyers around the world. Now that is scale, and that's the opportunity ahead of us. But that can be a little overwhelming. So we have to make sure that we really get this right, because there can't be seams in that process. So we've been piloting for the last 2 years we've been running a little pilot that we call our third-party products pilot. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. And, we recruited about 100 ISVs and CSPs, and we've been learning how to make this motion work. One of those partners was MailGuard. I recruited Craig McDonald and MailGuard 2 years ago at that same Australia Partner Conference. And their solution is a cybersecurity solution that sits on Azure and uses Office 365. And through the course of that pilot, we've helped them move into 12 additional countries and form significant partnerships with partners like Insight, CompuRx, and Ripe. And in Insight UK alone, they've identified over 150,000 Office 365 users for MailGuard. So that's one pilot. The other kinds of pilots we've run is ones we've run with like CDW and about 10 of our global ISVs. And we did some joint campaigns. And within 3 months, we were able to build a pipeline, a sales qualified pipeline of over 1,500 opportunities. So those are just 2 of the pilots that we've been running. And we've learned a lot through these pilots to get this right. So I wanted to share with you 3 key things that we've learned that mean a lot to your business. The first thing is that your value proposition really matters. It has to be simple. It has to be like less than 20 words, okay? Something like Rubric, 4 clicks to the cloud, or Live Tiles, bot in a box. Very memorable. Second thing is seller readiness is critical. And the third thing is support is really the long pole of success. Because when we turn on the spigot and suddenly you have thousands of customers at a time, you still need to be able to deliver the same high quality support to customer after customer after customer. So some of our larger partners have stepped up to help us make that successful. Last April, I was down in Florida with Ingram Micro, and we launched their new Cloud Blue platform. It's a billing and provisioning platform that sits on Azure, and it's connected to all of the cloud solution provider APIs, so it can save you months of development and get you up and running like that. And then there's the partnership that we have with HCL. HCL is a recent partnership that we just announced where they are going to help our ISVs re-platform their applications onto Azure and then provide them that ongoing Tier 1 and Tier 2 support. Those are just 2 of the many partnerships that we are forming on your behalf so that we can enable all of you to build your ecosystems. Because a partnership with Microsoft is a partnership with the Microsoft ecosystem. And when, yeah, right? Come on, wake up. And when we can bring all of that together, we can replicate the kind of co-sell success that we've had together this year, where when we sell together, our deals are 5 times larger, the consumption is 8 times higher, the deals close 26% faster, and they close at a 35% win rate. That is the power of partnership. And that is what the One Commercial Partner team was designed to help you do. There is no greater opportunity or priority for us than to connect you to customers. It's how we build your business. It's what we're here to do. And just like Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss built a product that has stood the test of time, so will we. And when we do, we are not just building businesses. We are changing lives. And it gets us one step closer to our mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Because partners make more possible. So I look forward to supporting your success in FY19. Thank you.